Hello everybody and welcome to this live office hours Ask Willie session. So right now I'm going to basically tell you a little bit about the site and I'm going to be answering your questions. So let's jump right in. First of all, let me move to this other screen here. So we're all friends here. We all have the same goal to get better at the piano. So please be kind to yourself and be kind to others. You could chat in your questions on YouTube. There's a chat function right next to this video, so go ahead and chat in your questions. Obviously, I'm only going to see those chats during this live session. I will stay on as long as there's questions, right? So if there's no questions, then we end early. If there are questions, then I stay on for as long as there are questions. Now, if you got to go, don't worry about it. Totally fine. You can always come back to this video later and check out the replay. All right, so the first question is, Willie, why do you have so many sites for learning the piano? Well, quite frankly, piano lessons are not cookie cutter, right? And anytime that you find something that's like a cookie cutter, like, you know, that like one shop is going to fit for everybody, I've just found over the years that that's just not the case. Now, I've created curriculum and pedagogy and books and recordings and touring and been teaching for a long time, so I have a lot of data on this to know that anytime you funnel a bunch of students into just one program, it's not going to work for everybody. Couple reasons for that. Number one is obviously skill level. Number two is interest. You know, some students are not interested in a particular style of music or, you know, a particular way of learning something. And number three, price, right? So obviously, you know, everyone is at a different financial situation, which is totally fine. I understand that. And I never, ever want to see somebody go and stretch themselves too far to, you know, sign up for piano lessons. If you're looking for free stuff, I got plenty of stuff on my YouTube channel for free. So if you just can't afford it, take a look at my Jazz Piano Daily lessons that I've been putting on YouTube. You can watch them completely free. All right, so let's jump into the sites. While we're talking about Jazz Piano Daily, let me just give you some different points about these different sites. First of all, it's great for beginners. I say beginners plus in that, like, if you've had at least 6 months of, you know, training, meaning that you've been playing for like 6 months, noodling around, maybe 3 months. But then it also goes up to advanced level players. What I do is I move between using, you know, advanced material to beginner material, to advanced material to beginner material. So what ends up happening is while you're going through the program, you might come across something on a particular day, maybe day 25. It's like, whoa, this is pretty advanced. It's going to take me a little bit longer. But then you'll notice day 26, 7, 8, 9 starts to pull back until you learn something more advanced again, and it pulls back. So you're going to find that some stuff is going to be challenging. Some stuff is going to be a little bit easier. But what's cool about it is it's bite-sized piano lessons, all right? So these are shorter lessons. I explain a concept. I teach it to you. There are sheet music and resources available. There's going to be 365 lessons in total. Right now we're on lesson like 135, something like that. And there's new lessons going up every single day. So this should be completed by the summer of 2022. After that, I may add a little bit of bonus material, but but not much new stuff is going to be going on to Jazz Piano Daily after the 365 lessons. Now, this material is only found at Jazz Piano Daily. It's not found on any of my other sites. Right now, during the Black Friday sale, you can lock it in for as low as $749 a month or $249 lifetime. Obviously, lifetime gives you lifetime access to the material. $749 is per month. After that, it's going up to $14.95 per month. So if you're looking for the lowest cost solution for being able to learn the piano, Jazz Piano Daily is without question it. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more structure, Jazz Piano Lessons. Now, this material, I'll tell you right now, is found at JAZZEDGE, but when I explain to you who JAZZEDGE is for, you might decide that, okay, maybe jazzpianolessons.com is a little bit of a better play right now for you. Ironically enough, this was my first website, jazzpianolessons.com, way back in the year 2000 or in 1999. Well, actually, not quite. Jazz Kids was my first website, but this is my first online teaching website. It's been through many iterations, and now it's coming back as a step-by-step program. It is extremely structured. Literally, just follow the plan. Get in. There's 3 levels. 1, 2, 3. Start on level 1. Do that. Go to level 2. Go to level 3. Is 75 hours of content. Absolutely no new content will be going on to jazzpianolessons.com. Why? Because at that point, you should move to JAZZEDGE, right? If you go through jazzpianolessons.com, you finish it, you're looking for the next thing to do, without question, you should move on to JAZZEDGE then. Obviously, the sheet music and resources are available for Jazz Piano Lessons as well, and you can lock in this rate for as low as $9.95 a month. Again, if you're looking for a structured program to learn the piano, this is it, all right? If you really want that step-by-step approach, then this is it. Now, what are you going to learn at Jazz Piano Lessons? You might think, oh, it's just jazz. Now, look at the word jazz as being a little bit more overarching in that, yes, you'll end up learning stuff like, or, like standards and improvisation and stuff. But you also learn, you'll end up learning these different grooves as well with my chord essentials. You'll end up learning different styles like Latin. All right, so you'll learn different styles, you'll learn different grooves, you'll learn different chords, voicings. The main thing is, it's structured. So it's very easy for you to get right into Jazz Piano Lessons and have a plan to follow. All right, so that's JPL. Next one up is Homeschool Piano. This is the unequivocal site to go to if you're a beginner. All right, so if you've never played piano before, Homeschool Piano is the place to go. We won several awards with this program. It's very popular in the homeschool community, but it's great for not just families, but also individuals as well. So it's a very structured program, 3 levels, right? You go through each level, just literally, again, just follow the plan. This material is only found at Homeschool Piano. This material is not found anymore. It's not found anywhere else, I should say. And there is no new material that's being added to Homeschool Piano. Again, it's one of those things where, like, once you're done with Homeschool Piano, then at that point you move to Jazz Piano Lessons, or you can move to JAZZEDGE. All right, so kind of starts with Homeschool Piano as the more basic foundation, and then from there you can go to Jazz Piano Daily, Jazz Piano Lessons, and from there you can go into the JAZZEDGE program. It's great for individuals or entire families. There's a solo plan right now. It's $119.40 per year. You lock in that rate and pay that every year. After the sale is over, it's going up to what it was before, which is $150 per year. So if you'd like to get in, lock in the savings, now is the time to do that. And then finally, the JAZZEDGE program. And then we'll get to your questions. So the JAZZEDGE program, this is without a doubt the most complete library of the highest quality lessons. There's 850 plus hours of lessons. I scour the internet and I see, the other people who are doing lessons online, and I don't see any library the size of this. and the breadth of the information that you can find at Jazz Edge. Now, with that said, it's really designed for the serious learner. Right? Now, what do I mean by that? I didn't say the serious professional player. I'm not saying professional level. I'm not saying for the advanced player. I'm saying for the serious learner. So if you've said to yourself, okay, look, now is the time. I want to learn this instrument. I've been futzing around with trying to go on to YouTube and figure out what lesson to watch and and do this, or I have books, but I can never get it from the book to the piano. I really want to dive in and actually learn how to play this instrument. And I want to be a total musician. What is a total musician? That's somebody who can, read music, they can improvise, they can use their ears, they understand theory, right? Total musician. Right? So they don't just know one style of music. They know how to play different styles of music. They know how to improvise. They know how to read from lead sheets. They understand their chords. That's a total musician. That's what you're going to get at Jazz Edge. But again, you have to be committed to learn. If you're the type of player where you think that okay, I'm going to pay the fee, I'm going to get in there, and then it's just going to tell me everything that I need to do, specifically, and if I encounter the slightest resistance, I'm going to get all upset, and I'm going to be like, forget it, I can't learn. No, that's not who this program is for. So I really don't want every student getting into Jazz Edge. I'm looking for those students that understand that this is a journey, not a destination. Right? So it takes years to learn the piano and to get good at it. All this other marketing baloney that goes on online, in 5 easy steps and in 10 seconds you can learn to be a pianist. Okay, fine. If that's what you think, go check that out. I'm not the guy for you. All right? You don't like to hear me talk? I'm not the guy for you either. I explain things in my lessons. I am going to turn over every stone for you. So you're not going to be confused as to what does this mean? And if you are confused, there's weekly coaching, right? With a live teacher. That means every single week you can get in and you can ask your questions and get answers. So if you need help, you need direction, that's how you can get direction. There is a lot of structure at Jazz Edge. You could go through right with my Jazz Edge core program, which is right there, right on the main dashboard as soon as you log in. But it also allows you a lot of flexibility and freedom. That's why I say I'm looking for the serious learner, because if you're going to get in, you're going to be like, oh, there's this and this and this, and you're distracted by the next shiny object, then you should go with either Jazz Piano Daily or JazzPianoLessons.com. Now, let's say you're in Jazz Edge. You're like, oh, I like that idea of jazz piano lessons, right? That structure there. Do you have any, discount for me if I'm in Jazz Edge? Yeah, there's actually a very small upgrade fee, add-on fee for jazz piano lessons. So if you become a Jazz Edge member, you can add on jazz piano lessons for $25, one-time fee, and then you get access to jazz piano lessons as well. All right, so prices, there's a bunch of different sales going on for Jazz Edge back at the website Black Friday Piano. After the sale is done, it's going to go to $49 and then $396 a year. So as you can see, all styles are covered. We go through jazz, obviously, we go through a lot of jazz piano, blues, a lot of blues on the site, rock, bunch of rock lessons, funk, Latin, gospel. There's even classical lessons on the site. Music theory, you want to learn your theory? You're going to learn it at Jazz Edge. You want to learn to improvise? Without a doubt. There's the Confident Improviser program, and that is just the cat's meow. If you're trying to learn how to improvise, I mean, it starts from the very basic beginning. If you've ever said, oh, I can't improvise, I won't be able to improvise, I challenge you on that. Go through my Confident Improviser program. If you actually follow the program and you actually practice, I guarantee you that you will be able to improvise, all right? And it's not going to take you years to learn how to improvise or years to learn how to play from fake books. It literally would take you a few months with some consistent practice. Let me just talk about that real quick. What does serious, committed, consistent mean when it comes to practice? We're talking 4 to 5 days a week, 20 to 30 minutes per practice session. If you could give me that, if you could give me at the minimum 4 days a week, 20 minutes, right, I can guarantee that you are going to make progress. Now, obviously, right, I like to shoot from the hip here, guys. So obviously, I keep saying that too. Guys, guys, gals. It's not a male, female thing. It's just all of you. It's like my jazz musician, my jazz brand. Like, hey guys, hey man, hey cat. Right. So anyway, so everyone, if you're committed, if you could do 4 days a week, 20 minutes, then you're going to make progress. Obviously, the more you practice, the more progress you're going to make and the better you're going to get at it, right? But there's a great community at Jazz Edge, especially in the weekly coaching. You get to see a lot of students. You get to make friends. You get to see people from all around the world. So it's really, if you're looking, again, if you're the serious learner, right? Not a serious player, learner, meaning that you really want to learn, right? Doesn't matter what level player you are, but if you really want to learn, then that's going to be it for you. All right, so let me just quickly show you where all of those specials are, and then we'll get right to your questions. So if you go to blackfridaypiano.com, right, you come to this page, you can see all the different promotions right here. And if you're interested in seeing the lesson list for Jazz Piano Daily, right underneath here, click on Lesson List, and then you'll see the lesson list. And for jazz piano lessons, click on View Lesson List, and there you go. I did not put out the lesson list for Homeschool Piano because that's a very structured program. But you could go back to homeschoolpiano.com and see some samples, and then also just take a look at the inside look. And in Jazz Edge, there's just way too many lessons for me to list them out. Right? It would like slow the server down just to even load that up. All right, so your questions. Let's take a look at what we got here in the chat. Didn't win improv award for that. Where can I get the new Jazz Edge t-shirt? All right, so hold off on that. I am going to be adding that to my YouTube channel and my Teespring channel. I did add it to Teespring, but I'm not sure why it's not showing up on YouTube. So I will make an announcement in a couple of weeks for that. There's this t-shirt, and I got another design as well. So I will most definitely give you that. I'm just curious if maybe I can find a link for you quickly. I'm not sure. Well, maybe. This is all my no-bowl piano stuff. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who might be wondering, I'm not sure where it is right now. I'm not gonna mess around with that. For those of you who might be wondering, let me just remind you about some of my old sites. Piano and Willie. If you have a membership to Piano and Willie, you could still stay there, but Piano and Willie is kind of like one of my legacy sites now, right? So like all of those lessons have been moved over to Jazz Edge. So if you're looking for the Piano and Willie stuff, that's all on Jazz Edge. No Bowl Piano, I kind of sunsetted that site as well. For those of you that already have memberships to that, you can keep the membership. Basically, No Bowl Piano was like, if this is Jazz Edge, No Bowl Piano is like that much of Jazz Edge. You still log into Jazz Edge, but you could only have access to about 1/6 of the material. But again, like I said, both of those programs are not available for sale. All right, so are you going to recap the website names after? Just wanted to see what my options are. All right, so if you just go to Black Friday Piano, all right, so blackfridaypiano.com, you will see all of the specials that we have going on. So Jazz Edge, this is my main site. You see the different options you have. One thing I also want to let you know, I see this, and this always bugs me, during Cyber Monday and Black Friday specials, is that sign up now and get 20% off your first month. That's not what I'm doing, all right? So when you lock in monthly for $39, you're locking in for $39 a month. That means that you're not saving $10 on month one. You're saving $10 every single month. Right? So you end up saving $120 over, 12 months just on that monthly membership. Same thing with the yearly membership. You lock in yearly at $348, then every year you're at $348. Now, of course, you could cancel at any time, and it's very easy right in the website to go ahead and cancel your membership if you want to cancel it. But you will just keep getting billed at that low rate. So that means that you get grandfathered in as the site goes up, right? So the price of the site goes up, but you're locked in at that lower rate. So there's Jazz Edge, and there's a bunch of questions in here. You can take a look at these different FAQs. If you just click on them, it will expand. This is the Cyber Monday special. We're doing 2 years of JAZZEDGE access for $5.98. Again, this is not going to be for everybody, right? But what I'm doing is I'm also giving 10 free download credits as well. Those download credits are great because you can go ahead and download lessons from the site. So then you get to own that material even after, your membership is over. So all of this, what happens at the end of 2 years? I'm nervous about committing. What's your refund policy? Do you have a payment plan? You can take a look at all of those FAQs right there, and all of that is answered. You want to know what's in JAZZEDGE? Take a look at that video. Here are your different ordering options, more FAQs. Right? If you need help, click on I need help. That will load this up. You can go to contact us, fill out that contact form. Guess what? That comes to me, right? So once I'm done with this session, I'm going to be going and answering support tickets. So during this time of year, we ask your patience. It's just Jamie and I that run this. So that means that sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But, where else can you get to the guy? That's the other question too. When you're thinking about which site you want to go with, I'm here, right? I am here for you. I have one job and one job only, and that's to make you better at the piano, right? That's what I wake up and do every single day, right? That's what I think about every single day is how can I get you to be better at the piano? So one thing you'll notice on my site is that there's always an iterative process, meaning that I am always looking for new ways to help you get to that goal, right? For you to be able to have the dream. I want you to be able to sit down at Christmas time or holidays or whatever and be able to play stuff, and people are going to come over to you like, whoa, Frank, where'd you learn how to do that? That's awesome, right? That's my goal for you. So that's Homeschool Piano, Jazz Piano Daily. Again, you can take a look at the videos. These are all your options, jazz piano lessons. The Confident Improviser, if you just want to purchase and download the first 35 TCI lessons, this is an option for you here as well. If you just want to download some of my lessons, I have 60% off in my download store. And then I just finished up my Black Friday weekend training series. It's still $25. I said I was going to raise it up to the $50, which is going to be normally today, but I'm just going to keep it until the end of the sale, right? And the end of the sale, you can see right up here. And please understand, once that hits zero, that's it. There is no exceptions. The only exception is if you've written in, okay, so again, you went down here to help, right? And you wrote in, and it was like, I'm interested in ordering this, but I have this question. That's going to be the only exception, right? If you write in once that timer goes to zero and says, oh, hey, sorry, I missed the sale. Can I still get it? I'm going to send you an email that says, I'm glad that you're interested in our stuff, but unfortunately the sale has ended, all right? So, I hammer you guys, I know, in email and videos and everything for the week. So I appreciate you hanging with me, and I appreciate your patience. But after that week is done, it's done, right? No more sales. All right, and there was also this, I did an hour and 47-minute webinar on how to succeed in online piano lessons. Definitely worth a watch. If you're interested in it, take a look at it. It's right down here at the bottom of this page, right? I will tell you all of that is right here at blackfridaypiano.com, and there's also a link in this description below. All right, David, I have classical music training as a kid, pretty extensive, but don't want that anymore. I've tried jazz a little, but it's hard for me, different way of thinking. Which program might be best? Jazz piano lesson seems reasonable, but I want to include the basics, but I don't want too many basics since I have experience in music. Is there any interaction with you and the staff in jazz piano lessons? I'm a self-learner, but it helps to have some guidance. All right, great question, David. So jazz piano lessons would be a great way to definitely get started, right? Because again, jazz piano lessons takes about 85% of my JAZZEDGE core courses. It's right in the Jazz Piano Lessons program, and it's all laid out step by step for you. So the caveat is, for $10 a month, no, you don't get access to me or any live teacher, right? It's just not built into the price point, right? Again, I try to be very honest with you, right? Time is valuable, and as an artist, there's too many artists that are just willing to give away their art for free. I don't do that. So if that bugs you or rubs you the wrong way, then again, I'm not the guy for you. I believe I have spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of my own money to learn, and then I'm giving that information to you. So there's a value to that. So at Jazz Piano Lessons, it's just not built into the price point for online coaching. That doesn't mean that you can't take a private lesson with me, all right? Obviously, there's a cost for that, but yes, you could do that. So you could always write in and take a private lesson with me. If you're looking for the coaching, there's 2 programs that have the coaching. And I forgot to put this down as well. Homeschool Piano also comes with the weekly coaching. So Homeschool Piano and JAZZEDGE, those are my 2 main programs. Those 2 programs come with the weekly coaching. So one thing you could do is, again, if you're looking for the structure of jazz piano lessons, you could sign up for JAZZEDGE for the $39 a month or $348 a year, and then do the Jazz Piano Lessons add-on for $25. Again, that add-on is a one-time fee. As long as your JAZZEDGE membership is active, then you get access to all of that Jazz Piano Lessons material. Again, to be fair and to just remind you, all that Jazz Piano Lessons material is already found on JAZZEDGE. It's just structured differently on Jazz Piano Lessons. Why isn't it done like that on JAZZEDGE, Willie? Because I get that question too. Because JAZZEDGE is a completely different architecture. You'll notice that the Jazz Piano Lessons vibe and feel of how those lessons are presented are much different than JAZZEDGE. Why did we do it that way? Because Jazz Piano Lessons doesn't have as many lessons. We can get away with doing that nice streamlined approach, whereas in JAZZEDGE, it would just be overly confusing for students to do it that way. So the structures are different. That's why they're 2 separate sites. And that's why we have it as an add-on, because some students don't want to add it on, right? And that's totally fine. So for you, David, it really depends on how much you want to invest in your playing. I mean, I would tell you this, that $348 a year and then the one-time $25 add-on, in my opinion, is, quite frankly, peanuts to invest in your piano playing. When students have studied privately with me, they pay thousands of dollars a year. So again, it's up to you. I don't want anybody to overextend themselves financially. So if it's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, it's too much, then start with Jazz Piano Lessons. You could always go over to JAZZEDGE later, right? You should know this as well. I don't do a lot of promotions for JAZZEDGE. It's very rare that I do a promotion, and it would be rare for you to come back and see this price point, all right? It might be that you end up getting some kind of a bonus, like, in the future, it might be sign up for JAZZEDGE for $396 a year and get JAZZEDGE, or get Jazz Piano Lessons add-on for free. It might be something like that. I don't discount my stuff because I believe in my material, all right? The material is that good, and it's worth it, so I don't discount it, right? And it also makes it better for you guys as well, because for all of you, I mean, I don't know about you, but when I sign up for something for like, X number of dollars, and then I see it's 50% off later, or every time I go to the website, there's constantly a sale on that, I don't know, that leaves a poor taste in my mouth. So I don't like to do that to students either, right? So you should know that when you're signing up, you're getting, a great price on it. Michelle, I have a Legacy Premier membership. If I add JPL, I still keep my Premier membership, or will it update to a current JAZZEDGE membership? I'd like to be sure I will keep my Premier membership before adding JPL. Michelle, you're in a different class. Michelle is one of my students, and I will talk with you about that privately, Michelle, because I have, you've been with me a long time and you helped me out, so I have something special for you, so we'll talk about that. Just do me a favor, write in a ticket and then I'll explain it to you there, all right? Robert, how do you add Jazz Piano Lessons to JAZZEDGE? Just email you? No. Let me show you just real quick. Let me get a... Just bear with me while I load up the site. All right, so right now I am in my test account. Okay. So if I go to upgrades, I'll see it right there. Okay, so let me make this a little bit bigger for you. So all I do is on the left-hand side here, go to Upgrades, and then I just click that right there. Okay. And again, if you want to see the lessons, just click there. You can see all the list of lessons. Right? And then this is the new login dashboard. It makes it very easy for you to be able to, get to all of your information. One thing I just want to remind everyone too, because we've been getting a lot of questions on this. Notice if you're in mobile mode, right? You see how this is like mobile, like you see the little hamburger thing there. Bear in mind that you're not going to see. You click up here. These are your different tabs right up there. But you don't have enough room there to be able to put in the name of the tab, so that's why it shows up like that. Right? So if you're on mobile, if you're viewing this on a phone or something, just know those tabs. Look at those icons. Those icons are going to be up on the top. All right. Let's see. You got it, Michelle. David asks, how do you do a weekly coaching lesson with so many people at so many different levels? That's a great question, David. So here's the deal. And this is very interesting. I've gotten data on this. I've been doing online coaching, first of all, like, this kind of stuff where you see me live on video for... Man, it's going on like 6-7 years now. I mean, I started doing that way before this whole Zoom thing was going on. We were doing live stuff a long time ago. Just like, JAZZEDGE and Jazz Piano Lessons and all my online sites were set up way before this whole influx of everyone wanting to teach online. So I was way out in the front of a lot of that technology. And I say that I don't want to hurt myself, like, patting myself on the back. I say that not to pat myself on the back. I say that so that you understand that I have years of data on this. So what I have found is that there's usually a small percentage of people who will come to coaching, right? The reality is you could have thousands of students, but you might only have 50 people who come to coaching at any one time. And that's literally what happens. I might have 40, 50, 60 people that come to coaching. And even with those 60 people that come to coaching, many of them just want to sit back and watch. Because what happens in coaching is that when I'm coaching, and I coach all different levels. So you were asking, like, how do I work with these students who are at different levels? That's the beauty of coaching, is that you could submit your video ahead of time. You could submit your question ahead of time. So if you can't join the session, then, I can, still respond to you, and you could watch the replay and, and kind of get like a little private lesson, a little mini private lesson later by watching that replay. But I work with every student wherever they are. So every student that is on, you could be a professional musician. And I have students who are on that gig professionally, right? And they're on, and I'll have even some absolute beginners that are playing like real simple stuff. But those pro people stay on, those pro students stay on, because I will give everybody unique and individual interesting ideas. So there's always look at coaching like this. I have a passion for teaching. So during coaching, it's much more relaxed. We're all friends. It's like it's a relaxed atmosphere. So I will explain and kind of give different directions. Try practicing this. Try doing this. Do that. And it's great for all levels, because the smart learner, the smart player, doesn't simply say, well, they're not playing jazz and they're not doing standards and they can't improvise at my level, so what he says has nothing to do with me. You know what? Again, you're not right for JAZZEDGE. You're not right for my lessons. Please cancel your membership, okay? I'm not right for you and you're not right for me. That's not the players that I'm looking for. And that's, thankfully, not the students that I have on my sites. The students that I have on my sites recognize that, oh, you know what, there's always something to learn. And they realize that, hey, look, there's always interesting, good material. In fact, Michelle can chat in. She's on there most weeks as well. She could tell you that there's always some little nugget of information that I will share that is going to be applicable to everyone. So during coaching, I speak to the individual who, submitted a video or has a question, but my answers are global. Right? And I explain that, to students when I'm saying, I'm not saying you specifically, but for everybody, they might have that question. So I've learned over the years how to give information to students that applies to more than just that one student. Right? So that's the beauty of coaching. And here's the thing. I would love to have more students come on to coaching. They're welcome to do it. But I can only lead a horse to water, can't make him drink, right? So it's the same kind of analogy. I can offer it to you, but if you don't want to take me up on it, I'm not going to force people to come to coaching, but I would love to do more coaching. And I would be happy to add on more coaching sessions, and we will if it turns out that we get to a point in which we need that. But at this point, we've found that hour every week is just perfect. Everyone comes and when they have a question, they ask a question, and I haven't had any problems of being able to answer all the questions within our time. Let's see. And David, can you cancel JAZZEDGE if not using it, if monthly, and keep the jazz piano lessons you purchased at $25? Unfortunately, no. So if you cancel your JAZZEDGE membership, then that add-on also gets canceled after 2 weeks. So what happens is, let's say you get a JAZZEDGE monthly membership right now at $39. You decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to be away for a month or two. I'm going to cancel it. Well, then you're going to get an email immediately that says you have 2 weeks before your jazz piano lessons add-on is removed from your account. Now, as long as you sign back up, right, and sign up for a JAZZEDGE membership again within that 2 weeks, then you'll be fine. You'll get that jazz piano lessons add-on on your account still. But the add-on and that setup fee for the add-on is specifically for those students who are JAZZEDGE members. So it's a very low price point. So if you end up canceling your membership, well, then you no longer get that special add-on price, right? So. Let's see, Stephen. I'm a jazz beginner coming from a classical background. I currently subscribe to Noble and have been through the 30-day program, now working on piano essentials. Is this the best place for me? Yeah, so for you, Stephen is part of my Legacy Noble piano program. And another way of looking at Noble piano, Stephen and everyone else, is think of it as JAZZEDGE Lite. Right? So it's really like a JAZZEDGE program, but it was a light program. I kind of announced it, what was it, 2 years ago, I think now, during Black Friday, and then I've just realized that there's a better way of doing this. Again, that iterative process. So Noble Piano, if you have a membership to it, you could stick with it. But as soon as you cancel it or it's canceled, then you can't get it back, and there's no new members for Noble Piano. So now to answer your question, Stephen, Noble Piano has access to a lot of the JAZZEDGE core, but as you already know, not all of JAZZEDGE core. Jazz piano lessons would give you more access to JAZZEDGE core, right? And if you're interested in jazz piano, at Jazz Piano Lessons, number one, you're going to get the first 25 confident improviser lessons, right? So right there, those 25 confident improviser lessons, which again is divided up into level 1, 2, and 3. You don't do all 25 in level 1. So you get access to those 25, which is more than enough to get you up and running with your improvisation. You get 8 of the piano accompaniment essential lessons, right? Those are great for kind of knowing all right, so what do I do if I'm going to try and, So if you need to know, how do I accompany myself while singing, or I want to play kind of that pop rock kind of stuff, well, that Piano Accompaniment Essentials is great. You also get access to 8 of the Standards by the Dozen lessons. So if you're interested in jazz piano, those Standard by the Dozen lessons are fantastic, right? It's a very structured way of learning how to play jazz standards. And that's the thing. If you're interested in learning jazz standards and improvisation, without a doubt, Jazz Piano Lessons or Jazz Edge is the way to go. All right. So for you, Stephen, you might decide, oh, okay, maybe you move over to Jazz Piano Lessons for the $10 a month, $9.95 a month during the Black Friday sale, because again, you do $9.95 a month, you're locked at that rate. Now, of course, if you cancel and you want to come back, then you're going to come back at whatever the rate is then. But you stay at that $9.95 a month rate. So that may work out better for you, especially if you find that being a No Bowl Piano member, the Jazz Edge site is a little bit confusing for you. If you find that it's a little bit confusing, then jazzpianolessons.com might be better. But I just want to caution you and remind you that you still get access to coaching. As a No Bowl Piano member, you get access to my weekly coaching now. So if you decide to move your membership over to Jazz Piano Lessons, you lose that coaching. So, you know, those are the trade-offs. I mean, if you've never come to coaching and you're just looking for the structure, then I go to Jazz Piano Lessons. If you're like, okay, you know what, 2022 is a new year, I'm going to start coming to coaching. I want to get, you know, feedback on my playing and get direction and my questions answered, and I want to do coaching, well, then I would stick with the No Bowl Piano program. David, so can you cancel and then re-add Jazz Edge at the Black Friday rate? I am away all of January without piano access, so it would just lose the $39. No. Anytime you cancel one of my memberships, if you want to come back, which I would love to have you come back at whatever rate it is right then and there, right? There's only one exception to that, and that is if you purchase this Cyber Monday, if you purchase the 2 years of access to Jazz Edge, this 2-year access, which I'm not suggesting that you do this, but just to explain, if you purchase that 2 years of access, at the end of the 2 years, your membership, this doesn't auto-renew, is what I'm saying, all right? So at the end of 2 years, then you make the decision. Do you want to come back, or do you just want to call it a day and do something else? If you decide to come back, then you could come back at your rate that you were paying before you purchased that. But if you get a monthly membership or a yearly membership to any of my sites and you decide to cancel and you want to come back, then you pay whatever rate it is at that point. If you feel like, hey, look, I'm going to be doing this, for a while, yeah, it kind of stinks that you're going to lose that 1 month at $39, but you're going to make up for it in the long haul, right? Especially if you end up staying on the site 5, 6, 7 months. I mean, I have students who have been on my site since 2008, so there's no shortage of material that you'll learn. So, again, hopefully that helps you with your decision. Robert, how important do you think it is to work on relative pitch, hearing intervals, hearing chords? If important, do you teach it on any of your sites? Yeah, actually I have a Ear Training Bootcamp Volume 1 and Volume 2 on the Jazz Edge site. And on Homeschool Piano, there's also some ear training involved in Homeschool Piano as well. Again, Homeschool Piano is really for the absolute beginner, so I'm not suggesting if you have any skills at the piano now, Homeschool Piano would not be for you. Jazz Edge, however, would be for you. And there is ear training lessons on the Jazz Edge site. Now, to answer your question, how important do I think that it is? I think it is, so again, if we think of that total musician, right? And I like this concept of a total musician because when you think total musician, you realize there's no expiration date, there's no end date, there's no end location. It is about the journey, right? There's no destination. You're never going to get there. You will never be that total musician, right? You will never. There's no end to it. There's always something that you're going to be learning and you're going to be developing, and that's really where you want to be as a musician, an artist, and a player, right? If you think, well, I'm just going to get to the end and I'm going to know jazz piano, yeah, well, no. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, hey, look, all I want to do is learn how to play 5 songs at the piano and then that's it. Okay, fine. Again, Jazz Edge isn't for you. But if you want to be that total musician, ear training, relative pitch, theory, all of that, those are spokes on the wheel, all right? So if you think of a wheel, right, that's just one spoke. And what I mean by that is, imagine you have a wheel, right, and one spoke is damaged or missing. Does that mean that the wheel is going to be dead and you can't use the wheel? No, you still can, but it might not be as efficient, right? Another way of thinking of it, if your tires are a little bit overinflated or deflated, you won't get the best gas mileage, right? So they still work, but they're not as efficient. So that means that if you want to be that total musician, you want to be the best player that you can be, then yes, you definitely want to work on ear training as part of that. And those courses are found at JAZZEDGE, right? So there's plenty of ear training material at JAZZEDGE. And then also, you could really incorporate like once you go through those ear training boot camp classes, then you can start to incorporate that into any of the other lessons, the rhythm essentials lessons, the chord essential lessons, confident improviser, standards by the dozen. You could do, because you learn solfege, you learn dictation, you learn rhythmic dictation, melodic dictation, all in those ear training courses. So then you could take that material that you learn and apply it, everywhere else. And then at that point, there's just no end to how much you could do in ear training. David, can you just put your computer on the piano and use that with the sheet music, video, etc.? Does an iPad work? Yes, an iPad works. In 2022, we will have some apps, some native apps, but not for JAZZEDGE, right? JAZZEDGE will not have a native app. Why? It's just way too many lessons, right? It's like, there's like, I think it's something like 5,000 lesson chapters or something in the JAZZEDGE site. It's just way too big for a mobile app. But that doesn't mean you can't just put on your iPad and go to the website. Load up Safari, Chrome, Opera Mini, whatever browser you use on your iPad. It also works on Android tablets as well. Go to any of your browsers, go to the website, and you could save it like on your desktop as a little icon. Just click on that, take you right to the website. And you could utilize the iPad. The iPad works beautifully for going through JAZZEDGE. In fact, what I would do in the 6 o'clock session that I'm going to be doing, I'll have my iPad here, and I'll show you what it looks like. So if you want to see what that looks like, come back at 6 o'clock or check out the replay video, and I'll show you what that looks like on the iPad. But it looks beautiful on the iPad, and yes, you can get all the sheet music. And then the beauty is on the iPad, any of those backing tracks like iReal Pro, you could click on those, boop, load it right up in iReal Pro, and you're good to go. So then you have your backing track there, you got your sheet music, you got the lesson video. The lesson video, you could change the speed, you could do looping on it. You got your bookmarks that you could save. You got your favorites. You can make playlists. So if you want to kind of, let's say you're thinking like, okay, I want to have like kind of a holiday playlist of lessons to do holiday stuff. Then I want to do theory stuff in a playlist, and then I want to do improv in a different playlist. So you could have your different playlists as well to kind of separate your learning out. There's a lot of interesting ways of being able to use the site so that you are able to function at 100%. Everybody learns differently, right? Some players and students love the technology, some want it a little bit more streamlined, so there's something for everyone there. But there's a lot of power in the site to give you that flexibility. Rio, thank you for this session, Willie. You bet, absolutely. All right, so any other questions before I let you go? All right, so like I said, if you're interested in the sale, go back to blackfridaypiano.com, okay? And really, that's really where you want to go. Don't go to the sites because the prices on the sites are not the sale prices, all right? So if you just go to JAZZEDGE, you're going to see the regular retail price. If you just go to Jazz Piano Daily or Homeschool Piano, so just make sure you go back to blackfridaypiano.com. That's the place to go. You'll see all the specials are listed out there. There's a lot of information on that page. Be sure to scroll down. You could take a look at the inside look videos. You could take a look at some of the lesson lists as well for Jazz Piano Daily and Jazz Piano Lessons. There's a bunch of FAQs there. And again, like I said, if you have questions, all you got to do is just go right down to the bottom right of the page here, click on this help, right? and there's a couple of FAQs there, right? And then, or if you need more help, just click on Contact Us. A reminder, it's going to take a little while before we're able to get back in touch with you. We have quite a few tickets in the system. But if you write in there, we will get back to you. And if you're interested in any of those sales, even if we get back to you after this timer reaches 0, you will be entitled to the sale price, right? So we always honor that sale price. So yeah, just come right on back here, and you can get, and then like, see this? Even as I was talking, like this is a live update. That was just at 30. Now we're at 29, right? So students are ordering this quickly. So if you're interested in getting those free 10 download credits, which literally is a $232 value, you want to check this out. Just real quickly on this, $598. Yeah, okay, I get it. $600. Let's call it $600, right? Let's forget all the marketing speak of bringing that down by $2. It's $600. And at $600, yeah, that's an investment in your applying. Absolutely. But that's 2 years of access. That's a lot of time. And then you also get these 10 free download credits as long as you're one of the first 50, right? That means that you have 10 lessons that you can download from the site. And that's cool because if you're going to be away from the internet or you just want to own the lessons even after the 2 years, you got something, right? So you can always come back to those lessons. So one way I would use it is I would get the 2-year membership, and then I would find those lessons that are like, oh yeah, because you're going to find there are going to be certain lessons that are like, whew, I can keep coming back to this material over and over and over again. So you click, boop, download, and then now you own that lesson. Right? So even after your 2 years is up, you can keep coming back. This stuff doesn't go out of style. The piano doesn't change, right? Like learning piano is learning piano. So, so the video and the content is all good, even if it's 10 years from now. And there is also a 3-pay option as well. So you could break this up into, I think it's like something like $209 per month for 3 months, right? So it adds on a finance charge to it of like, I think $29. So anyway, though, you can take a look at these FAQs. There's also a refund policy. Again, I like to shoot from the hip, and I like to just tell you guys everything and make sure that you fully understand what's going on. Take a look at the refund policy. There's sometimes some confusion about our resources fee. Basically, what it means is when you get into the site, all right, so when you're on the site, if I just go to my dashboard here, let me load this up quick, and let's say I come into Piano Essentials, all right? I'm going to go to the Piano Essentials Practice Tips. You see over here these lesson resources on the right-hand side. So every time I click to download one of these, so if I click this, right, so I just downloaded this, and you can see that this is no joke. This is a lot of music here, right? And this takes time. And unfortunately, I get some of those bad apples that, they want to sign up for a membership and then they download hundreds of these resources and then they're like, I want a refund. Luckily, it's a very, very small percentage of people that do that, right? Like less than 1%. It's probably 1% of 1%. But I'm a human being, right? I'm just like, I'm flesh and blood, just like all of you. I got feelings too. That hurts my feelings, to be quite frank. It's like, I've put like 25 years, into teaching online and 35 plus years teaching in general. So when people do that, it really kind of gets to me. So I had to put in place something to kind of protect myself as well, because I don't want to be jaded in doing this. Again, I got one job to help you succeed at the piano. And when I have people like that sign up and do that to me, it really leaves a sour taste in my mouth. So I didn't want to, I needed to find a fair solution. So this is what I came up with. You get 5 resources that you can download, right? So that means that when I clicked on that counted as 1. If I click on this same thing again, and I come back here, and I click on this same thing again, guess what? It's still only counting as 1 because this is just one resource. If I click on Sheet Music 2, which is a different resource, that's a second one. If I click here, that's a third one. If I click here, that's a fourth one, right? If I go to another lesson and click on another one, then that would be 5. You get 5 for free, right? So that means that if you signed up for a monthly membership, a yearly membership, a 2-year membership, whatever, and all you downloaded was 5 resources, and you go to hit cancel and you say, hey, look, this isn't for me. I want a refund. okay, fine. I completely get it. I'm more than happy to give you that refund. If you only downloaded 5 resources or less, then you get an absolute full refund as long as you cancel within the refund window. All right, so there's different refund windows. It's usually 30 days. So it's usually best just to think 30 days, right? Some of them have a 90-day, but if you think 30 days, then you're safe. So within 30 days, if you cancel, you want a refund. If all you've downloaded was 5 resources, then you get a full refund. What about this? If I look at the lessons, is that count as a resource? No. It's just right here, just where it says resources. It's the sheet music. It's the backing tracks, stuff like that. There is a value to that. So what happens if I download more than 5, all right? Well, it's a $10 per resource downloaded. So if you downloaded, say, 10, well, then $50 is going to come off of your refund. So if you had a monthly membership, you downloaded extra resources, well, guess what? Then you don't get any refunds. If you download it, if you have a yearly membership, well, then that $50 is going to come off of whatever you paid for the yearly membership, and then that will be the difference, right? So I like to just say that I don't want to scare people off, but I want you to know that there is a 100% refund policy in place, but there's just that one little caveat. And I just want you to understand what that caveat is. And then when you get into the site as well, there's a whole thing that says, okay, look, I've seen this refund video, and it's all in a video. It's all explained in a video. So if you don't get it, you can always go back to that video and you can see it right there, and that explains it as well. In fact, I think it might even be up in, well, it's somewhere in, it's also in the support documentation as well. If you go in here, there's something in there. I thought it was in here somewhere. Oh yeah, refunds and cancellations. So if you go in here, there's this whole video right here explains how to refund and the resources fee. In fact, if you click there, you could see refund resources fee. So you go there. Now let's cover the resources, and it explains all of that, right? So if you ever have questions about it, you can always go into the help area, and then you can see it from there. All right, so thank you guys very much. Thank you all very much. Again, I keep saying thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, all right? So I appreciate you being here. I'll be here again at 6 o'clock. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, you just want to come back to and see me chat here for an hour. I'd be happy to help you again at 6 o'clock. You can write in your questions as well. Again, like I said, if you are interested in the sale or you want to know what's on sale, go back to blackfridaypiano.com. All of the sales are there, and it's important to note that all of the sales end without question Wednesday, December 1st. That's 2 days from now. In fact, that is literally 48 hours in 2 minutes. All right, so 48 hours from now, all of the sales end. All right, so anyway, that's it. Thank you all, everyone. I will see you all at 6 o'clock, and if not, have a great holiday, and I will see you soon.